right, let's get this going. Okay, yeah, we are good. So let's get this thing going. We're here for another episode of the podcast. You know what it is. If you've been here before, you know why we're here. You know what we do here. You know the goal of this show is to help athletes reach new levels in their athletic careers. And today we're going to be talking about comfort zones. We're going to be talking about how new levels bring new devils. And I'm going to be breaking down that expression because that was something that was said to me. It was probably about a year ago the first time now, and it's something that's really stuck with me a lot since that time. But before we get into it, if you are here live, first off, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Make sure to share this live stream out with your friends, coaches, teammates, anybody who is going to benefit from this message. Because again, the goal here is to help athletes reach new levels in their careers. Ryan, I see you're here. I'm going to be getting back to your message a little bit later this afternoon. I saw it, I read it, I'm very intrigued. So I will definitely be getting back to you right after I'm finished up with this. So thank you, I appreciate you. But let's get into the show. We're talking about comfort zones. We're talking about how new levels bring new devils. We are going in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we are talking about comfort zones. We are talking about how new levels bring new devils. Now, what does that expression mean? So the first time I heard that expression, it was one of my business coaches about a year ago. And we were talking through some things that I was dealing with within my business, some systems that weren't working very well. And he told me, new levels bring new devils. It's like what you were doing when you had 10 clients isn't going to work when you have 25 clients. Just the same as where I relate that to athletes is what you were doing when you were an amateur isn't going to work when you're a pro. Now, the other piece of this conversation is talking about comfort zones. Now, I posted something earlier today, depending on when you're seeing this, but I posted something earlier today and it was talking about how comfort zones are where your dreams go to die. And one of the things that I've really embraced this past year that I want you all to be able to take from this episode is the ability to become the person you need to be to achieve the goals you want in your career. And actually, a perfect example is someone that I saw on the live stream just now, guy that I trained for a very, very short period of time, probably over a year ago now. His name's Ryan. And he approached me earlier today with a very intriguing offer. And I'm not going to dig into what that offer is right now because we're going to talk about it some more first. But the start of his message was talking about how he's ready to take his career to the pro level. He's ready to take his career to the pro level. And in turn, what that meant is he needed to change what he was doing right now. And that is the whole purpose of what we're talking about today. So I thought that was really funny that I got that message from him earlier this morning. Now, when it comes to changing what you're doing right now, what do I mean? So let's say right now you are a young athlete. Your goal is to become a professional. Your goal is to make millions of dollars in your sport. Your goal is to reach the levels that you can do nothing but compete in your sport, train, and make millions of dollars doing just that. Resonate? I know a lot of people out there, that's exactly what you're after in your life. Now, you need to understand that there are millions of other people out there in that same position. Millions of other people that want exactly what you want. Millions of other people that are waking up every day saying, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be a world champion. I have all these goals that I want to achieve. And if you want to be the one that breaks through, if you want to be the one that breaks through, if you want to be the one that is actually able to achieve those goals and not one of the millions every single year that falls short, you need to separate yourself. You need to separate yourself. And how do we do that? A lot of people think, well, I separate myself because, I grind harder than anybody. Guess what? So does everybody else. There's no one out here that has any serious hope of becoming a professional athlete that is not working their ass off every single day at it. Nobody, not one. So what are you willing to do that they are not? And that was the point of that post earlier today. Comfort zones are where you go to die. And one of the best examples of this was right before hearing that quote, new levels bring new devils, was when I invested in this business coaching program. See, before I started, I was, doing okay every month. I was paying my bills. I was out of the woods. Like I wasn't in danger of not being able to make it through the month, but the business was small. My retention wasn't very good. I had clients dropping off all the time. Things were kind of up and down. Like I knew I was good at what I did, but I just was struggling so much to get it in front of enough people, get it in front of the right people, bring the people in that I knew could really benefit from working with me. And I met my business coach online. He was talking to me about his program, and I told him there's absolutely no way I could make that investment. I had about $6,000 in the bank, and the program for the year was about $4,000. And there's absolutely no way I can make that investment. It's way too much money. And he talked me through, the things they help coaches with. And I decided, you know what? Let's do it. Let's take the risk. And worst case, I'm going to be able to survive. Best case, I'm going to be able to thrive. Tripled the size of my business. I hired a coach. I have people working within my business now. It's not just me. I have a way better understanding of the back end systems. My retention of being able to actually keep athletes for longer periods of time is way higher. The product and service that I deliver is way better because I'm able to put my focus into the clients that I have and not put my focus into how do I make sure that I get through the month. And that was one of the things that, this program drastically helped me with. But the reason that I was able to get that help that I needed, the reason that I was able to, take my business to that level was because I put the time in and I put in the risk. I got out of my comfort zone. And getting out of the comfort zone and making that investment changed my life forever. And this is what so many of you guys are missing. So many of you guys think that you're going to keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're never going to, invest in another coach. You're never going to try to do more than what you're doing right now. You're just going to float along doing what you're doing right now. And one day, a top level organization is just going to come knocking on your door and then offer you $1 million contract. And guys, it's just not how it works. You always need to be searching for the next level. And where a lot of people go wrong with this is a lot of people think that if I'm searching for the next level, that means I just need to grind harder in the gym. I need to train 7 days a week instead of 6. I need to train 5 hours a day instead of 2. And that's not what it is either. It's taking a look at where you struggle right now and putting a concentrated effort into fixing that problem. So if you're an athlete right now, you're training 5 days a week, you're getting good results from your training, you're making some physical improvements. Oh, Mike, Jimmy Neutron. You're making some physical improvements, you're training 5-6 days a week, but you're eating like a fucking asshole and you're eating, just junk food all the time. You're not eating enough calories, whatever it might be. Then the way that you reach that new level is by focusing in on your nutrition and making improvements to your nutrition. If you are an athlete and you're writing your own training programs right now and you're getting okay results and you're making a little bit of progress, the way that you reach that new level is you hire a coach so that you can get more results, better results faster. If you have a coach already and you have, your team all set and you're training really well, things are going well, but you don't sleep more than 4, 5, 6 hours a night. The way you level up is you figure out how you can get more sleep, recover better, and in turn, continue to push those results faster. You get what I'm saying? No matter where you're at, there is a new level. No matter where you're at, there's more that you can do. No matter where you're at, you can make changes, you can make improvements, you can make additions, subtractions, whatever it might be, that are going to push you further, faster. And that is the key to seeing the success you're looking for. That is the key to reaching the new levels. So what I want you guys to do from here is I want you to think, where am I lacking? Where am I lacking? Who do I not have on my team that I need? Is the person that I have on my team the right person? Because that's very important too. I know some people that have coaches, they have, their strength coach set, they are working with a team for their actual sport. They've got the coaches, but what they don't have is good coaches. And how do you tell whether you have a good coach? Ask yourself the question, what are we doing when we work together? Why are we doing it? And how is it helping me? Do I feel like I can communicate with this person? Do I feel like I can bring issues to this person? Do I feel like they have my best interests in mind? And if you can answer those questions and they do not have your best interests in mind, they're not willing to, go the extra mile for you, they're not willing to do what it takes to help you, then you might be working with the wrong person. So ask yourself if this person has your best interests in mind. If not, it might be time to find a new coach, and that might be that next level you're looking for. But either way, guys, the goal that I'm trying to get across here, what I really want you to understand is that, like I said, new levels bring new devils. If you want to turn pro, then what you're doing right now isn't going to be enough to reach that level. What you're doing right now, you need to make changes or you need to make improvements in order to succeed at that next level. Like I talked about in the beginning with my business, I was doing okay. I was getting through the month. Things were okay. I wasn't in danger of, losing my business or losing my apartment or anything like that. But by taking the risk, by stepping out of my comfort zone, by making the investment, I was able to triple the size of my business and put myself in a way better position where my days can be fully spent on pouring into the athletes that I have and making sure that I'm delivering the best service possible, because I'm not worried about how am I going to get through the month. And by making that investment, the product levels up, the service levels up, and in turn, the athletes get better results, which then continues to grow the business. So everything goes better because I took that risk and because I made that investment in myself and in my future. So for you guys, what investment do you need to make? What investment are you not making right now? What are you figuring out on your own that you probably need a coach for? And if you can honestly answer that question, because I speak to a lot of athletes that tell me, oh, I figure out my own strength and conditioning. And then those same athletes will be coming back to me a month later and saying, well, I hurt my back doing a deadlift, so I'm rehabbing right now, but it's okay. I'm going to figure it out. It's like, how are you going to figure it out if you are injuring yourself while you're figuring it out? Instead of spending a couple $100 a month, hiring somebody that can figure that out for you, who's been doing this longer, who has a better understanding of it, who's going to be able to push you further, faster. You know what I'm saying? If you truly have the goal of reaching the top levels, you truly have the goal of, becoming a professional athlete, making millions of dollars competing in your sport, you need the best possible result in the least amount of time, period. And that sometimes is going to require financial investment. That sometimes is going to require risk. That sometimes is going to require you doing things you are uncomfortable with in order to separate yourself from the pack. You doing things that others are not willing to do. So what I want you guys to take away from this, what I want you to do once you finish with this podcast is I want you to ask yourself, where am I not investing? Where do I need more help than what I have? What am I doing right now that I need to be doing better? If you are investing, then obviously that's a great start. What area of my game needs more work? What area of my game, including recovery, nutrition, etc., am I not putting effort into? And that, for the next 30 days, is what you are focused on improving. That, for the next 30 days, is what you are focused on improving. Because if you can improve that, that weakness sharpens up the rest of your game. And if that weakness sharpens up the rest of your game, now you're able to shift that focus onto the next weakness and continue to build yourself up into that new level version of you that actually deserves to be at the level you want to be at. So that is it. That is all. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I appreciate you for sticking around the live as long as you did. If you're listening back to this on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you leave a review. Make sure you go check me out on all my other social media channels as well. Link on how to do that is going to be in the show notes below. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thank you.